What's up, brethren and sisterin? Why don't we say sisterin? Anyways, what's up, people? Tom here with Extreme Air Vents on another really cool installation. Today's install is going to be, wait for it, the Riderz Turbo Tamers. Okay? You're maybe thinking, self, what is a turbo tamer? Well, here's a couple pictures. And okay, so now that you've seen the pictures of a turbo tamer, the turbo tamers are a product made by Riderz out of Canada. Basically what it is it gives you the ability to add some tip and hill weight to your stock ramps. So currently in the stock ramp, the only adjustment you have is you can add some spacers. Let me show you a picture of those right here. You can add some spacers to the clicker bolt, which really is only at the base. So that's not going to really affect the top RPM too much. A lot of the guys with stock 850 turbos are getting them right from the factory, clicker one, and they're tacking 83, 84, or even more bouncing off the rev limiter. And they don't really run very good past 81 or 82. So it's forcing everyone to have to run out, buy a clutch kit, because there's really no way to add tip weight. So I saw this product and I thought, wow, that's really cool. So I reached out to Riderz and purchased one. Well, then they asked me if I wanted to be a US distributor for them. And I did. So anyway, $158 US. I think they're $189 or something Canadian. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and install them on my brother-in-law's sled, do some testing with them, but this is just going to be the installation. So the Turbo Tamer kit essentially comes with everything you need to change them out other than the wrenches. So really fast, simple installation. You don't have to buy a bunch of tools, which is really cool. And so here we go. Here's the install. Okay, so obviously we got to get this clutch guard off. And this is the magic that happens beneath here. Next comes the belt, so we'll get that taken off. Okay, so I lied a tiny bit. You do need the punch tool. I'll show you where that goes. You can actually do this with a bolt, but since I have the punch tool, I'll try to put in the description what size bolt that is that you can use to tap out the pin. So anyway, you're going to need a number 25 Torx. I like these long ones, and a ratchet. You don't have to have a ratchet, but it makes it easier. This is the tool that they supply to compress the clutch. I'll show you how that works. It is driven by a 15mm socket, and then they give you this clamp, which I will show how that works. It will clamp over the clutch to keep it in the closed position and allow you to work on the ramps. So really the only thing you need to run out and buy would be this punch tool. I will put the part number in the description below, or the correct length bolt with the correct threads. So here we go. Okay, so this tool right here is going to get slid in on top of the primary right here, like this. This is going to be your compression tool, and I've laid the holder. So what this is going to do is once that spring is compressed, we're looking to compress it to this stop. This stop is for when you want to make an adjustment on the mountain to change weights, to be able to get inside. And you'll see how you'll be able to have access to the ramp once it's compressed. It doesn't need to be as compressed as much just to change weight. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our 15mm. We're going to start tightening up this bolt and compressing the clutch spring. So what you'll see is the gap is going to start opening up. Okay, we're about halfway there. You can see that that gap is opening up. One thing I'm going to say as a safety note, don't ever put your fingers in here while you're compressing. If this was to slide off, that spring that clutch is gonna pop back out. If your finger was in here, it would just cut it right off. So anyway, keep your hands free of that area while you're tightening up the bolt. You can see got a little ways to go still. Just starting to want to drop on there. Okay. See how that clutch holder, this little clutch holder right here. So now our clutch holder's on. We can release this tension and the clutch will stay in that position so that we can work on these safely without having to worry about it popping back off. So we'll go ahead and release that tool right now. So now that's all of the tension is being held by that piece right there. So this can go ahead and be taken out, set aside. That's how that looks right there. So this will clear all the way around. You can work on all of your ramps. So that little compression tool that they provide you with is a really cool little thing to have in your toolbox if you ever needed to do some work on the mountain. Yeah, your quick access. So let's move to the next step, which is going to be removing this bolt, tapping out the pin with that tool, and then we'll take the ramp out, put the turbo tamer on. Okay, so we're gonna get the 25 Torx, loosen up this bolt. Bolt comes out. You're gonna thread in your punch. Okay, so now we're just gonna tap that pin out. You can see that pin starting to come out on this side right here. Okay, the pin is now loose. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna thread that puller or punch. Thread that out. Keep track of that pin. You see the ramp now is just going to come out. Okay, so now you have the stock ramp set up. So looking at this, the turbo tamer is going to replace this piece right here. It's going to add heel weight back here, and it's also going to add some weight up here so that we can get some weight out on this tip. That's what controls the top RPM. So if you really like the factory profile, you just are having a problem with over rev, then the turbo tamer will be the setup for you. So anyway, we're gonna loosen this bolt. And like I was saying before, the only other option to add weight to a factory setup is to add washers behind this bolt. And so essentially this bolt, you know, it's holding ounce, 2 ounce, 3 ounce washers. So all of the weight is right here at the heel, which is good for belt clamp, but it does nothing for top end. Add too much weight here at the bottom, it's going to get real sluggish on the bottom end. So anyway, let's get the install going. Okay, so here we have our installation instructions. One of the notes that we need to pay special attention to is if you're loading the weight, or if you don't need a lot of weight, you're going to put the bolt in from this side. Okay, it cannot exceed 4 millimeters sticking out this side, which is going to be sitting like this. So if the bolt stuck out too far this way, it would hit against the clutch. So like in this picture, if you need to add a bunch of weight, you need to bring the bolt in from the other side. So anyway, like that. Okay, so this next portion gives us the different weight of each of these bolts. So, and then we jump back over here, it's going to give us the initial setup. And so I'm kind of going to go back and forth. Right here it shows if we add heel weight, what the effect will be at engagement and at peak. So adding heel weight lowers the engagement by almost 100 per gram, but then raises the RPM at top. So it's pulling against the tip, which is going to add RPM. Now on the tip, tip weight doesn't do a whole lot for the engagement RPM, but that is what's going to affect your lowering your RPM at the top, so adding it to the tip. So right now this sled is running at 8,200 RPM at full throttle. These are the washers. You see a 0.33 and a 0.66. So if we go by the gram, if we want to do we want to bring that down to like 8,100 or 8,050, something like that. Let's just say 8,000. We need to drop that down 200, or we could go 150 and add some washers. 2 grams is going to give us 150. Adding some washers, bring it down to 200. So we're going to try this sled at 8,000, maybe 81. We'll see what happens. But that's the process we're going to go through. So essentially what I'm going to probably try on this sled, since we do ride a lot of high altitude, we're going to probably try a 1.8 gram on the tip, and then follow the heel recommendations based off of this chart. So that's going to be a 10 millimeter screw, which is going to be this one. 10 millimeter screw, 1 thick washer, and 1 thin washer. That's on the heel. So just the screw on the tip, and the screw and a washer on the heel. So all we have to do for the installation on this is remove this bolt, swap this piece out, and that's really it. So let's do it. We're going to remove this clicker bolt. So the nice thing is you retain all your clickers. Okay, so we're just going to hold that all together, take out that bolt right there. Turbo tamer is going to go like so. Okay. Whoops. I didn't change the clickers at all. This sled was on clicker 3, so we'll add some weight now to it. So on the tip, we're going to add 1 8 millimeter screw. Okay, so you will need a 3 millimeter Allen head to tighten these screws up. Okay, then on the heel it said a 10 millimeter with a large and a small washer. Tighten that up. That thing's ready to reinstall. Pretty sweet. Okay, so now we're back here on the sled. I'm going to reinstall our ramp with the turbo tamer. Just going to push that pin back through. And now you're going to need that punch tool or the bolt. Nice thing about this setup is you can do this all without taking it off the sled. So just gonna I know you're hearing a lot of banging going on. I'm just tapping the edge of the, but you can hear it when it seats. It makes a different noise. So once that's seated, that comes out. Now we're going to reinstall with some blue Loctite. We're going to reinstall that bolt to 44 inch-pounds. Okay, so we got the torque wrench here set for 44 inch-pounds. And we're there. So installation complete. Now, like I was saying before, if you need to adjust weight now, all you'll have to do is use that press tool, put the clamp on, but you only have to put it onto this position. You just need to be able to have enough room to get in there with your 3mm socket or 3mm Allen head to pull weight or add weight. Obviously, you can adjust heel weight without doing anything. So this heel weight's going to be a fun one to play with. See where we're needing to adjust there. So anyway, I'll get the rest of them in. We'll speed that process up right now, and we'll go from there. Okay, now we've got those all installed. We're going to just make sure that we have all of our clicker bolts tight. That one was a little loose. Those ones are 71 inch-pounds, if you care. So now we're going to spin this to where the clamp is at the top again, right here. Okay. We're going to reinstall the press. Okay, once we get some tension on that little press, that piece right there will come loose. We can remove it. Now, just pay special attention to keep your fingers away from these areas, because if that puller just pops off, you lose your finger. So okay, the puller is free. You want to just go through here, make sure that your everything is. I just realized that I screwed up. Dang it. Let me show you what I did. But this is why you double check things. That bolt right there is hitting. Okay. So real easy fix though. This is why you check it before you just go run it. This bolt's gonna have to come in from this side, but you can see in here, you can almost access that bolt if you need to make a tip weight change. But what we're gonna do is we're just gonna reinstall this compression tool, compress it to the first mark. So this is the second mark, or the first mark's here, the second mark's here. We're gonna put it to this mark, so not quite as compressed. I'll be able to take that bolt out, swap it going in this way. Yeah, so I don't actually think that would cause, because the clutch is fully closed and it's loose, but I just like the idea of that bolt not touching right there. So we'll change it out right now. So we'll reinstall the compression tool. Okay, we got the clamp on there. Okay, so you can see that that's just partially compressed, not as far, but you have easy access now to that weight and this hill weight. So we'll go ahead and just swap that around right now. Now if you look at that, that's going to clear easy. So, okay, as you can see, swapping that around clears a lot better. So, anyway, that's all done. We're on clicker 3. We're going to go ahead and give that a try. And pretty cool, pretty sweet little product right there. So, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that installation video of the Riderz Turbo Tamers. And keep watching, keep following as we test these and get more time and more adjustment of weight and just to see how things are. We'll keep everybody posted. Riderz has told me that they are testing them on naturally aspirated sleds also. So that might be really cool to be able to adjust some weight for the naturally aspirated 850s without having to put a costly turbo or clutch kit in. So really excited about these. You can order them on my website. You can order them direct from Riderz, R-I-D-E, what is it? Riderz with a Z. Or www.extremeairevents.com, 158 US, 189-ish Canadian. So anyway, like and subscribe, guys. I hope this video helped you out, and let's keep going. Peace out.